Hello and welcome to the latest edition of This Racing Life. We've come down to Sherborne, here in Dorset, to meet up with owner turned trainer Syd Hosie to talk about his burgeoning team of young stars, including possible Cheltenham Festival candidate Rock My Way. And later in the show we go to Olly Murphy, who's got a stable of youngsters looking to be stars, potentially at Grade 1 level. After that, we meet up with Harriet Dickin, whose father Robin has let go of the reins and instead she is now taken over. We talk to her about her dreams, her hopes and her ambitions for forthcoming seasons. Syd, thanks very much for having us. It's a pleasure to be here at Sandhills Farm. Training a relatively new venture for you. If you could just tell us a little bit how you came to be in this position.
Basically, I had horses in training with a few trainers over the years. We've had employed trainers here, and I went on holiday about 4 or 5 years ago now with an ex. I won't mention her name, but I said I'd have a go at doing that, and a bit of sort of horse experience over the years, and she goes, "You'll never do that. You've got a business to run." And I said, "No, I'll do it. I want to do that." And that's what I did. I was on holiday Googling it, how to be a horse trainer or how to get on the courses, and I went from there really.
Just took the plunge.
Took the plunge, yeah. I knew enough people in the industry. I just needed to get the MVQs and stuff like that and do the modules, and I got them done, and here we are.
A long, interesting and quite unusual journey for you to get here. A couple of salaried trainers, as you mentioned, and Harriet Brown as well, taking your horses, and Joe and Colin Tizard too. So slightly unusual route into things. Do you think that's given you a bit more perspective about how to train horses?
Yes, you can see how everyone does things differently. So it's great experience for me to be around all these different trainers, and everyone does things differently. So if I can pick a bit of what everyone does, and I just find you're still learning every day, and as I'm sure every trainer is. But I have been lucky enough to be around some very good trainers, so that's key to what we're doing here now.
And having spent the morning with you, I can tell you're a man of great passion. So in your life, have you always wanted to be a racehorse trainer? Was it a pipe dream, or was it something you came to a little bit in later life?
Come to it in later life, yeah. It's something I thought that was probably unachievable. But then nothing's not achievable in life if you put your mind to it. And hard work pays off. I've done it in a business, and I thought, well, I can do it as a racehorse trainer.
Because you've always been a big racing fan, full stop, haven't you?
Yeah, followed racing my whole life, and I was a big football fan before I sort of got into watching racing religiously, but I picked a racing over the football any day now. So.
And being an owner and trainer at the moment of all your horses, and some purpose-built facilities, which I may say are absolutely lovely here, this doesn't come cheap, so you've obviously had to finance it in some way, and you have quite an interesting side project, don't you, with your brother?
Yeah, so me and my brother, we run a utilities company, and so he runs that for me now. I can concentrate on the horses, and that's obviously helped us set it up over the years, because during lockdown we were able to utilise some of the labour and build the stables and gallops, and we spent a lot of hours out there,
Yeah, and lockdown's interesting because I know that some people spent lockdown time wisely. Some people got fit, some people did other things, read a lot of books, but you purpose-built your facilities, which I'd say is quite impressive.
Yeah, we did, yeah. To be honest, I was fit as a flea before lockdown. Since training, I've put the weight on because you've got no time to exercise. You've got no time to think, really. I've got a Peloton bike now, so I do go on that a bit.
And in terms of these facilities, you've got room for 25 horses at the moment, with possible room for another 10 somewhere else. Is the plan eventually to expand on that, or are you fairly happy with the numbers you've got at the moment?
Yeah, we're happy with the numbers at the minute. We've got, like I said, we've got 25 horses in, and 10 stables down the road at a yard we rent. We can't push anything anymore because we're permit holders, and until the BHA give us a full licence, if they give us a full licence, we're battling with them now. So, horses like Rock Rock My Way, that brings inquiries from owners, but I can't say yes or no because I've not had an answer from them. So.
Yeah, at the moment that is the big challenge, isn't it? Trying to get that license, which at the moment it's taken a while, hasn't it, so far?
Yes, it's ongoing. I've sent all the paperwork off again, and yeah, we are in the hands of the BHA on that one.
Because you would like to eventually train for different owners, not just yourself.
Yes, we've got some big owners around here, big owners, and I've had lots of inquiries, and like I said, I've already had offers for Rock My Way, but
I'm sure
I want to keep him in this yard, so yeah.
How ambitious do you think you are, and how much do you want to go on and target and aim for?
Ambition-wise, yeah, very ambitious. We've set ourselves a winner a month. Doesn't sound a lot, but with a stable of 20 horses, that takes some doing. We're lucky enough to have the horses here. We've got a big race winner under our belt now, a Grade 2, which was massive. That's something I'd always dreamt of, just having a big race winner on the racing post. So we've got that, but now I need to set a target, and that's how I work. So 20 winners a season would be lovely.
And to have those winners, you obviously need the horses, and to get the horses, you need to be fairly shrewd when buying them. When you go to purchase a horse at the sales, what's your process?
I don't want to give too much away, but
without giving you any trade secrets.
Yeah, no, I'd be more inclined to see who's bidding on them when I'm bidding on them, and that's always a bit of a giveaway.
Because that was the case, I think, with Rock My Way, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think John Joe New was underbidder on that, and I thought, God, we're lucky to get that one. So. Yeah.
Well, you were, and he gave you your first big race winner, which was the Ballymore Trial at Cheltenham. Won it really nicely in the end. You know, a decent looking race, which brings him on nicely to a crack at the Cheltenham Festival as well. How excited are you about him?
He's exciting. He's the best one we've had here, and he's going to hopefully take us places where we want to be. But this is horse racing. A lot can happen between now and Cheltenham. If we can get him there in one piece in the Albert Bartlett, I think he'll have a hell of a chance. He's a big galloping horse, and over a longer trip, I'm very excited to watch him.
Talking of success, we very much enjoyed, I'm sure the racing world enjoyed, your celebrations after Rock My Way did the business at Cheltenham. A nice rugby tackle given to Anthony Knott, but you're not afraid to show your happiness, are you, after a race?
No, he was meant to jump, I was meant to catch him, but we've met on the wrong stride, so he's gone down. But as many people told me, they would have loved to rugby tackle Anthony Knott, so I'm the first.
And in terms of emotions, how does it differ being a trainer to an owner? Because obviously you do both with your horses. Having Rock My Way, which one do you think you glean more satisfaction from?
Definitely more satisfaction from training the horses. So I get to see them every day, and I get to see them produce it on the racetrack. But that comes at a cost, because when they underperform at a racetrack, the trainer, you're searching for answers, and
you have to look to yourself.
I have to look to myself. I can only answer to myself, which is part of the reason I train for myself, because I can then say, I know what's gone wrong or what's gone right.
And has that been a bit of an issue in the past with former trainers that you have had, that you think that the way that you do it is probably the right way?
No, not at all. All trainers do things differently, but as for me, I do things differently than anyone I've worked with.
Okay.
But I can only blame myself if it goes wrong, and it does go wrong. It goes wrong more than it goes right.
So given that you have that novel approach that you've taken yourself, when you do get those successes, does it give you that little bit more satisfaction?
Yes. Yeah, the big winners, like on the other Saturday, that was the pinnacle of what we want to achieve here. But I'd get as much satisfaction for that as seeing a Harlem Soul win at Wincanton, my local track. That meant a lot. So each getting a win out of each horse is a celebration to me. One
thing that struck me as well as walking around the stables, that every horse seems in a very good place. Mentally, they look very happy, and so do the staff. So clearly, this is rather a nice place to work, and I think that probably comes across in your success as well.
Yeah, we're very lucky with the staff. Very lucky. My partner Grace is assistant trainer, so she runs a tight ship. We got a lovely girl, Shannon, Irish girl that works for us. She's been with us 2 years now. Absolutely brilliant. We've got a new lad, Harry Brown, just started, an amateur. So we've got really good staff, and even got down to the people popping in once or twice a week. We've got a lovely girl called Millie that comes down, and everyone's a team, and getting winners cements that in place.
Finally, in terms of aims, ambitions, targets for the future, if you can name a couple, what would they be?
We want a Cheltenham winner. We'd love a Cheltenham winner. And, I'll settle for a Grade 1.
Anything on top of that, I suppose, would be a bonus.
Exactly.
We've travelled across country to Warren Chase Stables, the home of Olly Murphy Racing here in Warwickshire, to talk to him about his ever-expanding team of stars, his fine season so far, and how the introduction of Sean Bowen has been a massive help to his success.
I think that saying Rome wasn't built in a day is a good way of describing this place, but yeah, we haven't stopped kind of building and improving the place in the last 5 years. I started out with half a dozen horses, and I think we kind of rode out up to 130 this morning. So yeah, things have snowballed. I keep having to tell myself that I am only 5 years into training, and I'm my own worst enemy at times. You know, I want to run before I can walk, and sometimes you've just got to be realistic.
I think people often forget how young you are because you've been doing it for so long, and you were with Gordon Elliott as well, and that must be quite exciting for you, in the fact that the future must be extremely bright. Yeah,
listen, I hope so. I continue to be supported by some fantastic owners that are putting plenty of money into buying nice horses for me to train, and I think slowly we're building a really nice team of horses up from novice hurdlers to novice chasers to horses that are turning out to be kind of graded horses. But just referring back to what I said earlier, it doesn't happen overnight, and you've got to have patience, you know.
Mm. And with all those owners comes buying horses, buying the right horses. It seems that you have really started to do that. What would be your process in looking for new recruits?
Yeah, listen, we kind of do spread around in the case of which different ways we buy our horses, but we're renowned to buy a lot of horses as unraced 3-year-olds. I'm very lucky to have my father by my side buying these young horses, and through the years he's bought some pretty good ones. So I think it's a nice cushion for an owner to know that the trainer's father as such is buying horses for them and him to train, and obviously Dad hopefully wants the best for me, and we're trying to buy the best animal we possibly can.
And when you started out on your own, I imagine it was quite a nerve-wracking experience, but now you look like an old hand. How much has that process changed then? How much has the idea changed for you?
Yeah, it's strange really, because as I said, I've been going 5 years now, but I feel like I've been around 15. You see these new trainers starting out now, just like I did, and it's hard. I thought at the time it was easy. It was a walk in the park. It was this and it was that, but it takes a lot of time and effort and hard work to get to where I am now, and I still want to go up another few levels. In time, as I said, that'll hopefully happen, and you need the horses to do so and the support. But yeah, we've improved year on year, and we're just starting to get a real kind of better quality type of horse in the place now as well.
Yeah, and during that time you've had plenty of very good horses come and go, and very good jockeys as well, and you didn't cut ties with Aidan Coleman. You still use him, but not quite to the extent that you did. Now you've got Sean Bowen, who's been a brilliant addition to the yard. Just explain the thinking behind that. Yeah,
it was pretty straightforward really. Aidan had ties with 3 good horses, John Bon, Epperton and Paisley Park, and it wasn't so much on days they were running I couldn't get him in those types of races, but I'd end up having 5 or 6 or 7 or maybe 8 runners somewhere else, and I was having to explain to owners kind of why my stable jockey wasn't able to ride their horses, and that was of no fault of Aidan's. I completely understood. While he was riding those good horses, I'd have done the same, but to have a bit of continuity, it was time for a change. Sean's kind of come in and is riding an awful lot of them now. Aidan is still a big part of the team and a very, very good rider, and I don't think there's many better riders on the big day than Aidan Coleman, but I think he's touched upon it in a recent interview that he is kind of quality over quantity now, and Olly Murphy still trains for that little syndicate that he started out with 5 years ago, and I'm still mad to win a 0 to 100, and in time, 10 years down the line or 15 years down the line, maybe I won't be, but that wasn't for Aidan, and I completely understood that, and listen, it's still great having him about, and I'm just lucky to be able to mix it up between Sean and Aidan and some other good lads as well.
Yeah, two fine riders there. A word on Sean Bowen. He's moulded himself into a very, very good rider indeed, top class now. How refreshing and satisfying has that been for you to see his improvement?
Yeah, massively. Obviously, when he actually started out, he was riding a little bit for Gordon actually when I was over there, and obviously he's matured, and his riding's improved each year, and he's the real deal in my eyes. He's very, very good, whether it's a Salah on a wet Wednesday at Fakenham or going to Cheltenham or Newbury on a Saturday. He's the man. He's very, very good, and I'm lucky to be able to get him as much as I can, and I'm really enjoying working with him.
Look, Olly's been great, and his horses have been in very good form, which is obviously a massive help. I've also had help from Gordon Elliott, Martin Keithley, Dad, and I've ridden plenty for Harry Fry. I ride for plenty of yards, which is obviously a massive help. But look, Olly's yard is growing, and he's obviously got plenty of nice young horses. I've won quite a few bumpers for him this season, which will all make him to hopefully nice novice hurdlers. They've all been schooling well. So it's all about the future with the young horses, and hopefully one of them can take you into the big time.
Let's talk about the horses themselves, because we're reaching rather an exciting time of the year, of course, in the build-up to the Cheltenham Festival. And this season, you've got a couple of really good chances going there. In terms of excitement and anticipation, is it buzzing to be in the yard at the moment?
Yeah, it is. Listen, we all want to train good horses, and we're all looking for these good horses, and hopefully I've got a couple of good, exciting 2 mile novices, and I'd have loved to have dipped my toe in the water a little bit deeper, shall we put it, than I already have, but they're 2 horses that don't want real heavy ground, and my options have been limited, so I suppose we've kind of kept our powder dry. They're both 3 from 3, and I'm looking forward to kind of seeing what the next day brings.
Yeah, I hark back to the days of Itchy Feet and Thomas Darby finishing 2nd and 3rd in the Supreme. You've got Strong Leader and you've got Chasing Fire as well this year. How would you compare both those to Itchy Feet and Thomas Darby?
Yeah, very good question, really. Itchy Feet and Thomas Darby were 2 store horses. Chasing Fire's obviously got point-to-point experience. I think at this stage of his life, Chasing Fire is very professional. He takes his racing very, very well. Nothing phases him. I think he's very good. I do. I think he's very, very good. Aidan loves him as well. He's obviously Aidan's ride, and obviously, as I said earlier, he's a good man for the big day. And if we do turn up in Cheltenham, I don't see any reason why he couldn't run very well. And
of the 2, if you had to pick one above the other, would you be able to?
Do you know what? It's such a hard question. I think Chasing Fire is more of a horse for today. Strong Leader has improved with each run. His jumping at Uttoxeter first time out was indifferent. It was better at Aintree, and I thought it was very good the last day at Southwell. So he is improving massively, and if he keeps doing that, then I don't know where he'll end up. They're both good workhorses. They've both been very impressed in what they've done, and they've got to step up in grade now, and we'll see how good the pair of them are, but I'd rather train the pair of them than not.
Yeah, it certainly must be. We touched on Dove Mountain being your first ever winner. That was on the flat. You had a flat winner very recently, one of the rare ones for your yard. Is that an area, a code that you'd like to explore a little bit further in time, do you think?
I don't know in time whether, I'm 31, I don't know in time whether I will be training flat horses in 20 or 30 years. Who knows? I hope not.
You don't want to?
Oh, not that I don't want to. I'm a jumps man. I love my jumps racing, but listen, in time you see Alan King, what he's doing now, Noel Mead, a brilliant trainer that's training more flat horses now than jumpers, and listen, how the times change. I don't know what's going to happen in 15 years time, but there's a lot of money in it, isn't there? I'd love to train a couple of good stayers on the flat. Christ, I'd love to win that staying race in Ascot.
That's the one that every jumps trainer wants to win, isn't it?
Yeah. Obviously Gordon's won that before, and I'd really enjoy training a couple of good stayers. Or I haven't really got facilities to train a fast horse here, albeit I've had sprint winners. But yeah, I do enjoy it with 1 or 2. I just love winning. I was brought up to win. I wanted to win at school, and I wanted to win doing whatever I've done through life, and going and working for Gordon, it gets injected into you. You live and breathe winning. I just want to win. Second's no good. And you're either born like that or you're not. And I go and sit in the stands at Villa Park on a Saturday, and I know they don't do it very often, but I just want to win with whatever I do or whatever I'm involved with. It's all about winning. You've got to get better at losing. I was a terrible, terrible loser when I started out training. I was a shocking loser. I had to go and sit in the car after a bad day, or in the middle of a car or the middle of a race card to get over my first couple getting beat. But I soon realised you lose more than you win in this game, and I'd like to think I'm a lot better loser now than I was beforehand, but I just love winning.
You touched on the fact that a Cheltenham winner would mean the world to you. To keep on winning, I imagine, is the biggest aim. Apart from that, aims, targets and ambitions for the future, what would they be for you?
Just keep improving. Like I've always said, whether it's in 10 years' time, 15, I want to be the best one day. You've got to believe that in life. If you don't want to be the best in your walk in life, then I think you're doing the wrong thing. So yeah, just keep being really well supported, keep training winners. I did kind of change my business model a little bit this year, and I'm probably a little bit behind numbers wise where I usually am, because I kind of knocked my summer racing on the head. I had 10 or 12 in for the summer instead of 30 or 40, which I will carry on doing. I believe it's the right thing for my business. I don't bemoan summer racing, I still enjoy it, but my business model has moved forward, and for me it's about winning on the big stage. It's getting these good horses and just winning races. The bigger the better, the grander the race the better. But still, don't get me wrong, I love going to Fakenham or Plumpton on a Monday and winning a 0 to 100 or a Cellar and just getting winners on the board. That's what it's all about.
From a trainer searching for first Cheltenham glory to a trainer who's just celebrated her first winner, we travel across the Midlands from Olly Murphy's yard to see Harriet Dickin, up-and-coming trainer who has just taken over from her father, Robin.
Yeah, Dad's been great handing over. To be honest, I was a bit worried that he wouldn't want to let go, but he's firmly chucked the reins at me. A fun story, we had a dispute over jockeys one day, and I said to Dad, I just don't know which jockey to pick. What do you think? He said, that seems like a you problem.
He doesn't want to get involved in that.
No, any decisions that might have repercussions firmly on me these days.
Well, I suppose that comes with the importance of being a trainer. How have you found running a business? Because I have to say it's something that I've always thought is something people necessarily don't think about when it comes to trainers, that actually you've got a whole business to run on the side of the fact you're training horses. Yeah,
my mum is a key part of running the business. She's done it for Dad for years and she's helping me with it. I'm keen to do more with her because I need to be helping run it and ultimately be running it myself one day. But she's a great big factor in it. She's a massive help in the office. But no, with the times we live in and everything getting more and more expensive, it is really, really difficult. But you've just got to stay positive, keep your head down and keep working hard.
She's made a very good start. She's had a winner. She hasn't quite had the enormity of winners that I would like to have passed over to her. But to be honest, I didn't have enough or any horses to get well handicapped to set her off with handicappers. So she's starting with youngsters, so she has to be patient. So it isn't going to happen overnight, but I'd like to think in the next 3 seasons, maybe 4, but in the next 3 seasons, she'll be clocking up 25, 30 winners a season. It will happen, but she has to be patient because they're young horses.
You've got a few 4-year-olds that have come into your care. Looking forward to running those. None of them have seen the racecourse just yet, but how excited are you about them?
Yeah, really exciting. We picked them all, Dad broke them all in. They've only known what we've taught them. They all ride lovely, they all gallop lovely. Hopefully there's 1 or 2 among them, such as a Restless Harrier or a Thomas Crapper, or even better. You just don't know, but they all do everything you ask really well. They gallop lovely. And yeah, really excited to get them on the racecourse and see if we've got a star.
And it's a beautiful place to be here. training-wise? I mean, the countryside's picturesque, idyllic area.
Yeah. Ben Pauling moved on to a new yard, so Ben's really established this place, and all the facilities here are fantastic. I mean, we have a huge outdoor arena that's all weather. We have an indoor school, so in the really bad weather we can ride indoors. There's a deep sand gallop, so every modern trainer has one. We have a carpet gallop that's 7 furlongs long and uphill all the way, so you can really trial them at home and know if they're fit.
It's a massive step up from where we came from. The hill gallop's wonderful, and to have the deep sand alongside it, great big arena, and through all the snow we've got an indoor arena as well, so we're able to keep going. So really, really good facilities, and obviously being in the Cotswolds, the hills are a massive advantage. But no, it's brilliant, and the horses are running really well from here, so fingers crossed we can get a few more winners on the board this year.
Yeah, fingers crossed they continue to run well as well. And you've got quite a few, haven't you, in-house?
Yeah, we've got about 20, 25 in full training. A lot of them are young horses, so just being patient with them. We've got a few old handicappers that Dad passed on to me, and hopefully they're the kind of horses that will pick up a race here or there, and hopefully we can get their heads in front. And when the young horses start running, hopefully there's a star among them.
I mean, the big trainers, I've always termed them as supermarkets, and we're the village shop. I think where she has more chance than other smaller trainers, the village shops, is that she can diversify. She's a very good horsewoman. She prepares eventers to do very well. She won an international last autumn, which was a very exciting day. An old horse of Liz Prouting's, actually, that Alan King used to train. And Alan's always one of the first to congratulate Harriet when she's done well on him. But she has young horses to bring on, and so having the versatility of being attached to eventing as well as racing, I think will be an advantage to her, because it gives another string to her bow that you can train 20, 30 horses, and with the 14 to 20 eventers you can still make a living. I don't want to sound like when I was young before the war, but when I left school and was an apprentice to the late Frenchie Nicholson and then David, when I was an apprentice with them, if you broke your apprenticeship, you were banned from racing. You were blacklisted. So you couldn't break an apprenticeship. You couldn't walk out of one yard into the other. And I think all equine sport, and maybe all sport, when you first set off, it isn't about how much money you can make. You're doing damn well if you can break even. And I just hope, following her heart, because she loves it so much, that she can keep breaking even and make a living being a trainer.
I actually grew up wanting to event, always wanted to be an event rider, and yeah, went from there basically. I actually rode around Blenheim and Bramham, nearly got to badminton, and I got unfinished business there, so we'll carry on until we've been around badminton. I got, what will I have? 4 or 5 good event horses, and then some young horses that I'm bringing on, and who knows where they'll end up. But eventing's mainly in the summer, and obviously national hunt racing in the winter, so they fishtail quite nicely. There's a few months in the spring and in the autumn that are flat out, but it's quite nice to have an equine interest outside of racing as well.
I imagine being a budding young trainer, you've got plenty you want to achieve. In the near future, what do you think your targets would be?
I'd like to have more winners. That's a really boring answer though. I've got a really nice mare called Getaway Gwen. She was 4th at Market Raising in the summer. She hasn't run again since. I'd like to think she could go to the mares meeting at Cheltenham in the spring. She's a very nice horse, and yeah, maybe she'll be my first Cheltenham runner. Maybe she'll be my first Cheltenham winner.
That's it for the latest edition of This Racing Life. Through the cold and the frost, across country and into sunshine, we give our thanks to Syd Hosie, Olly Murphy, and to Harriet and Robin Dickin. Until next time, it's goodbye from us on This Racing Life.